Hi, Mr. Jenkins. So first of all, people's reactions were all over the place when it was announced that you were going to direct Mufasa. Were you expecting this sort of mixed response?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't even thinking about the response, especially because I made the choice to do the film long before the press announcement came out. And I was also deep, deep, deep in finishing the Underground Railroad, which is a very different project to Mufasa. But for me, I had a year of working on both things at the same time. And so when it was announced and there was a reaction, it was very surprising from the outside in a certain way. I didn't think people cared as much. But it was also pretty cool because I know what's in this film. And working on these two projects at the same time, the Underground Railroad, which is very meaningful to me, and Mufasa the Lion King, just as meaningful. I don't know, it just kind of reaffirmed the decision I made.
That's so interesting. Also, I read you talked to Ryan Coogler and Chloe Zhao before taking on this movie. Can you expand a bit on what those conversations were like and what did you take from their experiences on Marvel for this movie?
Part of it for me was just purely logistics, you know. One of the other reporters asked me, you know, how does it feel to go from a very small budget film to a very big budget film? And when I spoke to Disney about making this movie, it was just purely about, you know, I need to bring all my people, you know, my cinematographer, my editor, my producers, and I need to make sure I can make it in my voice. And so I spoke to Ryan and Chloe just about that process, and they were very affirming. And then the other thing was just, you know, learning all these new tools to make the film, you know, if there was a way to bend them so that we could make movies the way we always have. And so it was very, very practical conversations with both Chloe and Ryan about that.
That's so interesting, and it leads me to my next question because I wanted to know how did you work to bring your own voice to a movie that's part of a franchise as big as Lion King?
You know, it's really cool. I think sometimes as an artist, you can work completely free. You know, there's no restrictions. Usually when the budget's very low, you're just working almost like it's a white canvas. You can paint anything. I think when you're working with characters that already exist, you know, you can't make Mufasa now be something completely different than he is. You can't make, you know, Scar something completely different than he is. What you can do is reveal things the audience did not know or did not suspect about how they came to be the people they are. I found that challenge just as rewarding as the challenge of having nothing, no restrictions. If anything, it kind of inspires you more as an artist to be creative and figuring out, you know, how to create these different things, you know, within the sort of like foundations of who the character is. For me, what was really cool about that is there's so much that people know about Mufasa. There's so much that people assume about that character. As a storyteller, it gives you a starting point. So already, if I do this thing with this character, I know you're going to react to it because you have all this history with that character. I don't know, I found it was a very useful thing. It was very inspiring.
That's so cool. Do you think there will be a scene that makes people go like, wow, that's definitely a Barry Jenkins scene, something that always has on your movies?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, a friend said to me, one of the animators on the film, who had also done the 2019 film, said to me, you know, Barry, you know, whenever you make a piece of art, you should be able to point to it. If you put it up on the wall, if you put the movie up on a wall, you could go and point to it and go, there, that's where I am. And the more you can do that, the more you will succeed at making this film. And I can think of right now, and I've seen the movie way too many times, I can think of 47 places where if you gave me the choice, I would put my finger on the film and go there. That's where I am. Some of those the audience will know right away, and some of them I think will be surprising. There'll be new discoveries, so I absolutely do feel that way.
Do you think franchise movies, as Lion King and many others, they can really be a creative vessel, or they're more a means to keep Moonlight out there coming?
Excuse me?
Do you think franchise movies like Mufasa and Lion King, they can really be a creative vessel, or they're more a means to keep the Moonlights out there coming?
Oh no, I think they're a creative vessel. You know, I don't think of, you know, that was one of the things that when I spoke to Ryan was really inspiring. I've known Ryan since even before Fruitvale Station, now all through Creed, the Black Panthers. And he said to me when I asked him, you know, what do you think about me doing this film? He goes, well, why are you asking me that question? And I said, oh, because the person who made Moonlight, does that person make Mufasa? He goes, but I never think of myself that way. He goes, the person who made Fruitvale Station is very much the person who made Creed and the person who made Black Panther. He goes, if you go into this film with the right energy, if you go into this film, Mufasa, with your full self, there would be no difference between the person who made Moonlight and the person who made Mufasa. So I don't think of it as a vessel to anything, especially because I've made Moonlight. You know, if I wanted to make a movie like that again, I absolutely could. If I wanted to make a movie like this again, I absolutely could as well, so long as I felt I could really put my voice and my true self into it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking.